Guiding your next pop culture journey, this is In Quest of Geek.
The Tavern is always the beginning of a quest. It's where the team can come together to focus on introduction, speculation, and adventure. It's your chance to learn about your favorite fandoms or discover something new. This is our Tavern team.
With you in the tavern will be
Alix Catherine, your host and professional moderator.
Nathan, nerd analyst and examiner.
And Cole, your personal geek color commentator.
So pull up your personal character sheet and get ready to level up, because we're here to build better character.
Welcome to the Tavern team. Grab a chair and join the crew. Tonight's quest, we have Fruits Basket. Finally! Fruits Basket! So excited.
Yeah, Alex has been trying to get Fruits Basket to be a topic for a very long time.
Very long time.
Alex,
Cool.
Do you want to tell everyone why you've been fighting for this for so long?
Yes, please explain.
Because I love it.
A little bit more depth, preferably. Whatever.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess I can do that.
Why do you love it? Elaborate.
So, I'm a big fan of Slice of Life. If anybody has listened to a past show where I've talked about anime or on a Twitch stream, I really enjoy Slice of Life, which is, for people that don't know, an anime that's meant to be closer to real life. So usually it's focused around kids in high school just existing. And the most drama is like, I like this guy and he likes me, but we don't know how to share it. And oh my God, we're so awkward, and it's mind numbing and it's relaxing. And when I'm really sad or really depressed, it's gotten me through. And what I think is special about Fruits Basket is that although it is very much exactly what I just said, it's also a lot deeper than that, which is why I really enjoy it. It talks about grief. It talks about depression. It talks about anxiety. They learn how to interact with each other. A lot of stuff, obviously, I'll go deeper in on Dungeon Dive, but it hits a lot of the more important things that need to be said that kids at that age are actually going through beyond just the basic, but then it does it in a fun twist of a way. And that's why I enjoy it. Cole,
Nice.
why do you hate it so much?
I did not hate it. I was Alex has been trying to have this be a thing, and I've definitely been team no for the longest time. And then Nathan betrayed me and then didn't say no. So we did it. I went in with a very open mind. I just want everyone to know I went in with an open mind. When I watched it, I thought of New Girl. I was like, okay, this is kind of like New Girl, where there is a lot of issues involved. It's following this really happy girl that just everything seems to be going right for her because she's just so nice, and it's everyone's alarmed by how nice she is, and then all the people that she lives with are a mess. So when I had that mentality, it helped me get through each episode. And then, of course, everything Alex said about the issues that we learn about. But so like I said, did not hate it. I have issues with it, but that is stuff we'll go with later. Nathan, because we know how much you love narrating, do you care doing this? The story. Spoilers for anyone who wants Fruits Basket. If this is your first time hearing Nathan tell a story, grab some popcorn, pull up a chair, another chair, because we've already pulled up a chair.
Right, they're already at the table. They're already part of the team. But I love that this is becoming a thing where we're going to make Nathan talk, but we're going to harass him while he does it.
Absolutely.
It's MST3K, but for my feelings. That's great. So
but you can see our faces now. So
that makes it worse. That makes it worse because the happiness to your eyes as you attack me and attack my entire ability to tell stories and try and inform people and things.
But you could see that's from love instead of just hearing it and be like, man, they hate me. What the heck?
Oh, that's interesting. That's the same thing I must be thinking if I was in a dungeon, someone torturing me. I'd be going, at least they're doing it out of love. Oh, look how happy he is. He's doing it as he's stabbing me in the heart. Oh, but he's happy. And that's joy. Okay.
Exactly.
I can take some more.
You get it. That's all that matters is you get it.
Oh man, I'm gonna I shall avenge myself soon and with great ferocity. All right, so Fruits Baskets. Let's clarify the fact I've only seen maybe 5 episodes, and one of those episodes was twice. And that was the first episode of the first season that was ever made back in 2009, I believe.
2001.
2001, I apologize, even further back. And then I watched the first episode of the kind of the reboot remake in 2019. And Fruits Baskets is a story of a very, very sad girl, a very sad, kind girl named Toru Honda, who is an orphan, very abruptly in both cases. And she lost her father, then she lost her mother. And in that time, she was trying to stay with her grandpa, but apparently his family's a bunch of jerks that just make it harder for family to get together. I don't know what their deal was. They were just
oh my god!
I mean, it's an episode where there's like, yeah, we sent a private eye after you. I'm like, who does that? Okay. So grandpa has a lot of problems and he's busy dealing with his family. So she had to leave the house. And then she decided, I know, I'm 14. I'll just live in a tent in a freaking woods somewhere and nothing bad can happen out there. Unfortunately, and luckily for her, nothing bad did happen. She actually ran into the main other cast members of Yuki and what is his name here? Saki. No. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one here.
Kyo.
Yuki, yeah, and Shiguri, the dog. Basically the rat and the dog.
Yuki and Shigure. And then Kyo comes a little bit later.
Yeah, later.
Actually, this brings up a very great point that we need to address to the audience. We are going to butcher the names, and we are apologizing immensely. Insert crying moments constantly, all the crying moments, apologizing.
Yeah, we're going to try the hardest.
The entire culture.
Now this is where we kind of learn the twist of things where these characters are tied to the zodiac.
The Chinese zodiac.
Yes, and their fates are sealed by the curse of the Chinese zodiac or lunar zodiac.
So there are animals for the zodiac, except for the cat, who apparently is always left out. And in the story they tell is that the rat lied to him and betrayed him. And I bet there might be more to that as we go on. And one thing I wasn't 100% clear of because I didn't finish the season was, are these the original or are these people that aren't like the family? Yuki's like the 9th or 10th or whoever.
So they don't know how many generations it goes back.
Okay.
But
that makes more sense.
Generations, you can't have one unless one has passed.
Oh, that's sad. Kind of like the chosen one for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right. So as long as all the Zodiac's members are alive, no other Somas will be born a Zodiac.
Interesting.
The other note for the audience, just to give credit to both this show and Dungeon, is we were actually supposed to be doing Pokemon Snap. Normally, when we do a TV show, all the hosts are given way more time to watch, and this was not the case this week. So everybody was just told, fit it in your life the best you can and get as far as you can. Yeah. And for Tavern, they were asked to watch the first episode of 2001 and then the first episode of 2019 so they could feel the difference and kind of see the difference and then go from there and see how far they could get, which for Nathan was episode 5.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm going to put myself as an asterisk because I forgot about watching the first episode of the original series.
No problem.
So I did not watch that, but I got up to episode 20.
Oh, wow.
And I got to episode 23 of season 2.
Well, you love the show, so you've already been watching it.
And I should point out that I had like a weird week. So I tried to watch it and then I was binging and then Jason was like, okay, let's watch it. And I was like, dang. So I started over. And then one of my friends came over to the house because she's vaccinated now. And Val, who's going to be our guest on Dungeon, and they were like, well, Val came over first. And I was like, okay, we'll start it over with you. So I started it over with Val. Then Becca came over that night. So I started over with Becca. And then my best friend came over the next day and was like, what is this show you're watching? I want to see. So I started over with her. So I watched like as much as Nathan watched, but about 5 times, not counting my own binge.
Oh my god.
So I have a lot. I've seen a lot. So
you really, really know the first 5 episodes intimately.
Right. She really does.
The first few episodes, I've got it.
Oh my god. You gotta say no. You gotta go like, hey, no, sorry. You can watch this on your own time.
I love this show so much.
No, there you go.
doing that, I still didn't get to a point where I hated it. I enjoyed it. I would pause to watch certain parts. Like, for me, the way the characters smile through pain is something I feel so hard.
Yeah.
I know that took it to a weird deep corner, but
No,
like,
it's good.
No.
I'm so attached to that feeling.
That's
For
like
everyone.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Smiling through the pain is almost kind of an anime trope. Like you see that in a lot of like just. I don't know if that's a thing to say about Japanese culture, but for animes, you do see a lot of characters are super kind in the face of adversity, smile when they're hurt, and you see that often. And I wonder if Fruits Basket's one of those that kind of started it or perfected it. I wonder.
Definitely not starred if that's a thing, because this show came out in 2001 and there's a lot of older animes. For everyone at home who's curious what Alex is talking about, the characters that do it the most is Toro and Yuki. Those are the ones that are predominantly the ones that smile, but are noticed like there's something behind the smile. Yuki's the main one, I think, that does what Alex is talking about the most, because they say it verbally. Whereas Toro, I think she honestly is just doing her best to make her mom proud. So she's trying to push down all that negative stuff.
Neither one of you got to the New Year's episode, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Cole, you might have.
But
I was
yeah,
like,
you get 20 in.
Are you talking about like the Zodiac where they all had to go to the table?
Yeah, the banquet. So that to me is what proves that she's smiling through the pain.
Mm.
And then
when she
you
was
see
with
it
her
a lot
mom.
when she's crying secretly alone, and then they come back home and she's like surprised, and then she puts a smile back on. But she even tries to pretend that she wasn't crying about her mom.
Yeah.
And you see it further in season 2.
Oh, okay.
And so but we won't go too far into that.
So, how I was taking it was, it's a pain that she always feels, and it only comes out when she sees her mom's picture. So it's still, the smile is still real, but when she's able to be by herself with her mom's photos, when she is allowing herself to feel the loss, because it's only a year. Like her mom in the show, her mom passed away a year ago, so it's very new for her.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be like, for the whole thing I was trying to say with her is that she is part of a sadness zodiac, and when something stresses her out to a certain point, she just turns into the sadness that she hides. That's kind of the analogy it feels like, as I saw through the 5 episodes.
Nathan, were you as surprised as me when you the mom ended up being a gangster, like a gangster mob boss who was like the most feared and respected woman on the streets, and then she retired? Like, that part of the story, I'm just here going, the F is that? Like, where? I want that story. Let me watch that.
That's what I call a spoiler, because I didn't get that far. So interesting.
That's right.
They literally just got to the part where they're alluding to her being like a fast and loose woman, and I was like, damn, that's some messed up stuff.
The butterfly.
So, Nathan, this is going to be a lot of spoilers for you, unfortunately.
That's fine.
But her mom was known as the Crimson Butterfly, who was the head of a motorcycle gang. And it was a big deal because she got to the top as a female.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
And further down the road, you learned that her history is actually what saves Uotani from herself.
Uotani?
The blonde, scary one.
Friend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You find out that she, for everyone, was a middle school gangster. And that was the part that confused me, was she was like, I was in a gang, I was leaving school. I'm like, you're 14. Like all of them are 14.
An alcoholic dad that doesn't care. People go down that road at young ages.
I remember my motorcycle gang phase when I was in elementary.
But oh man, the scene sticking with I'm terrible with names.
You tell me what
Risa?
they are.
Yeah, you can scroll through real quick.
Uotani,
or Uotani, depending on
Sticking with her, the scene of her leaving the gang and then the mom saving her, I was like, that was a deep episode.
Yeah.
That she finally had a reason to care. And I thought that was I was like, okay, this is like deep into season 1, where like that came out of left field for me, because I thought she was just like the badass chick. I didn't expect her to be that level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say what I think is special about their friendship, because you have Hanajima, who's strange in one way, Uotani, who's strange in another way, and Toruhana, which truthfully is strange in her own way. And so it takes the combination of the three of them to be best friends, but it's a combination that nobody would expect.
The Hanajima. Okay, so I didn't get her story. I didn't get the Hana backstory. That is the next episode, apparently, for my watch. But she's like the oh my god,
Really sad.
Ashley Park. Not Ash. What's her name? Parks and Rec, the angry one who
April?
marries Andy. She's like the April of the show. Just like deadpan, super creepy. They're like, leave them alone. She's like, they're just stupid. It's fine.
Yeah, she's her backstory is really sad.
All the backstories are sad.
All the backstories are sad.
Okay, so I don't have her on the notes, but the little girl, like Nathan, I'm sorry you didn't see her, but there's a little girl that's a tiger.
Kisa.
Kisa, she refuses to talk because she's so embarrassed because she was getting bullied. Like, I think if you're a Soma, it's just expected depressing backstory that goes along with it.
And a lot of something that comes with being a Zodiac, just for people who are listening and watching this for the first time, they can't hug a member of the opposite sex without turning into the animal they're Zodiac to. Mm-hmm. That made sense. Unless that person is also a member of the Zodiac.
And then they don't turn. They can communicate with the animals, which randomly show up, which is my favorite. And they tend to have very strange hair colors, and they tend to have personalities that are similar to the animal they are zodiaced to. So for Kisa, she was getting bullied for having strange orange hair, and her zodiac was the tiger. Mm-hmm. And the cat is basically like the stereotypical Vegeta type character where he's just angry all the time.
Yes.
And if anyone's ever owned a cat, they've probably had one that was like that.
Yeah. The weird thing though was one of the characters that Alix loves, the cow. I don't understand the split personality.
It's meant to go with the different colors of the cow, and it's meant to be the idea of the cow and the bull.
Oh.
So Haru has two different hair colors. He has the light gray hair, and then he has the dark hair underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has light Haru and dark Haru when he loses it. But
so is that split personality?
It's split personality, and it's extreme.
Yeah, he goes from being a caring person to a horn dog.
And very violent is the other one. But it kind of, you could tie it into mental health, right? Like there are just some people who have situations like that or issues like that. And so I'd like that they get to see a little piece of that, but it's also an extreme satire version. I wouldn't say that would be anybody being like, oh, that's exactly my life. Yeah. But I don't know. I could be wrong. So,
so I'm a Zodiac. Okay.
Yeah. Nathan, you'll see it later, but he has one of my favorite scenes with the president of the school, which is just one of my favorites. He's a great character. But I think sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've only seen episodes where he finds the tiger, and then he has that moment where he almost kills the president.
Yeah, when he takes him into the bathroom to prove his hair color.
That will say that made me laugh.
That's my favorite. But I want to talk about the style of the show. Okay. I think that's what we should focus on here on Tavern. Because one of the things I always push for, and Nathan kind of brought it up last time, is we don't always have to do things that we're going to like. And one of the things I've been trying for this year is to try to do things that are out of our comfort zones. So for me, Demon Slayer is on our list in the future. That is way out of my comfort zone. Star Wars is something I'm not usually a fan of. It's on our list. So I'm trying to really push out of my boundaries, but then I have to push out of yours too. Now for Cole, it's easy for me. I know all the buttons to push. Nathan, I will find them. I am working.
Well, why? Why do you want to find them weaknesses? Wait, I thought we were cool. What did I
The
sign up
manual
for?
the manual came in the mail. She's just now learning the strategy cards so she
Oh,
can do the
no.
combos.
Oh shoot! I didn't read the fine print when I signed on.
You did
Tavern.
not.
You're trapped
boy.
now. Now I pushed for this this year for a couple reasons. One, this is the final season of Fruits Basket. And that's a big deal because when it came out originally in 2001. It did the basic anime thing of here's one season, you love it, peace out, bye losers. And everybody was like, no, come back, love us again. So it was a really big deal that they brought it back, and it's triggered other animes that could possibly come back in the future. We'll see. But not only did it come back, but they said we're going to finish it, but we're going to finish it in 3 seasons. Making it a huge deal that we're at that last season. The other thing that came out really big is on Funimation, they released a preview of the first episode, dubbed before they released subbed. And that's not something that happens I've ever seen, actually. It's always subtitles come out first because that's where it's made originally, and then the dubbed comes out later. So for them to release the dubbed version first, which I believe as of now is still the only version on Funimation, is like a huge thing, which was, I believe, because of COVID, and just being able to get voices in there to record. But still, I thought it was a huge deal, and so I wanted to be able to talk about that.
Yeah, I know so many people prefer subtitles. I'm in the minority when it comes to anime and dub. So the fact that the way I prefer it is out first is very rare. And for everyone who's at home going, I hate it! This sucks having to wait! Welcome to my hell. This is what I deal with. You guys be talking about my hero, and I'm over here patient like, okay, if I ignore all of them, it's gonna be fine.
Well, that reminds me of the latest episode where
my problem is I watched it dubbed with subtitles. So I just drive everybody crazy.
She has both worlds.
But that all being said, my goal for the show is to kind of do what I did with Invincible, right? I can separate, it was a good show, it wasn't enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we should be doing. So cool. With that mindset, I want to hear kind of your thoughts around the show. Right. Not scene specifically, but the show itself.
So the show itself is good, but what makes it good are those moments that Alix was talking about, the seriousness, the talking about the depression, the anxiety, the feeling like no one gets me, and then other people going, I feel that way, and then the connection with it. If we didn't have like the Sesame Street level of stuff where they just randomly get serious and they talk about a topic, I would say this show is terrible because nothing happens. It's very slow. It's a style that even an American, I'm not a fan of. Alix is aware I do not prefer this style of entertainment. And
right. Which I knew going into this.
Right. But that being said, like those moments when the characters are talking about the grief they're going through, the depression they're going through, the anxiety they're feeling, and then how they can grow and work together, and then just everyone together, like that makes this show worth watching. It's rough that it takes it's a 20-minute episode, but with like 3 minutes of an intro, 3 minutes of an outro. It's probably only about 5 minutes of the whole thing that makes it worth it, but I can't stress enough. It's worth it.
Now, I do want to hear from you outside of the podcast if you end up continuing with the show, because I think season 2 moves faster, and I think that's the difference between 2001 storytelling and 2019 storytelling. But if you watch, and the reason I made Nathan, and I'll tie it back to you now, watch the first episode of 2001 was to see how similar and how close to the storyline they kept the first season before taking advantage of season 2 and 3 the way they did. So could you talk a little bit about what you saw in the first episodes?
Well, what I saw was, I saw like a little boost in wokeness, I have to say. There was some There was some jokes that were a little more like just like, oh, we're lusting after a 14-year-old girl. Okay, we're gonna do that. That's really uncomfortable. And then in the 2019 one, they got rid of a lot of those jokes. Like it was really like there wasn't a lot. I'm not saying like the first one was like inundated, but there's a big difference between these two seasons and just kind of like, okay, let's not do jokes about this. We don't really need to do that. Let's focus more on just the weird oddness, of these people being turned into animals. Let's focus on that. That's enough. We don't need to make it weird. It's already weird in a more fun for the whole family kind of way. So I saw a big difference in that. Kind of also the timing. There's like longer takes on things in the first season, the first season episode. That seemed like it's that when they're trying to kind of stretch out that animation dollar that you can see sometimes, and they're just like, we'll stretch out this thing for a while where we don't do a lot of movement, more. Okay, I know what you guys are doing because I've watched enough animation. I know it's expensive for every movement that you have to spend so much money. And for the newer season, it was everything moved quicker, much more quicker pace. Telling a joke, then we move on, and I was liking that. I like the pace of the second season, the second version, more than the first. As for the whole,
better in the second version.
Yes.
Yeah, you did not see what the first season, what the first take was going to be like.
Which is why I was saying I think you'll see that the second season moves faster.
Yeah.
Because the first season they do try really hard to keep to the original, but it almost feels like they put filler stuff. From when I was reading, they put in bonus stuff that was like bonus stuff in the anime, and they put in stuff that the writer later saw it and was like, oh, I wish we had done this. They added those pieces into it. But you'll see the pacing pick up in the second season because they're not dependent on being loyal to the original, to the 2001 version. And so that's why I was hoping both of you, but I'm glad at least Nathan could watch it, see and feel that difference, because it is a huge difference. And so for the fans, it's a big difference in the storytelling because you end up getting more out of the story than you did in the first one.
Which would be interesting to ask around. I actually asked around. Alex, how did you feel about the difference in animation and pacing from the first season to the newest one?
So I watched the original first. I've rewatched. This is my 4th time watching Fruits Basket.
And your 48th time watching the first 5 episodes.
First episode, right. Of the 2019 version. I've only watched the 2001 version once. My goal for this recording was I was like, I'm going to watch the 2001 first episode, 2019 first episode, 2001 second episode. And that was my goal. I was going to do that. And I watched the first one of 2019. And I was like, I don't want to go back. I was just
If they were making those cringy jokes in 2001, I wouldn't want to go back either.
It's just that Shigure is he's a little less fun gross. And a little more gross.
Yeah.
He's like Ball Boy from My Hero.
I wouldn't say that far.
Okay. Yeah, not quite that far, but
Great Boy is way worse. And then the other thing is, when the morning she says goodbye to her mother, or doesn't say goodbye to her mother, is the day her mother dies.
Yeah.
In the original, the line is "stay safe." And that hits way harder, is the one day she doesn't tell her mom to stay safe is the day her mom dies. Whereas this one is just have a nice day or something like that.
Yeah, but that still hits hard.
It hits hard, but you can feel the difference in like the damage I feel like that would have done to kids, where all of a sudden they could panic and be like, oh my God, if I don't tell my parents to stay safe, they're going to die.
Yeah.
Like, I think that could actually create its own anxieties.
Yeah, when you're
attached.
Yeah, when you're a lonely orphan girl, you're going to blame everything on yourself, everything you couldn't control. And that these are more vulnerable to
the show
taking on herself.
I'm sorry, Nathan. Like we said, you're gonna get spoiled like crazy. They acknowledge that a lot of the internal turmoil that they are feeling is all just their brain messing with them. It's not really their fault, but they do believe it's themselves. Like one of the greatest moments was when Toro found out that Kyo, I apologize.
Kyo.
Kyo, thank you.
Kyo. Yep. And I'm saying it wrong too.
Yuki and Kyo are envious of each other for like the same reason, but from a different perspective. And it was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I just, it was so weird that one's like envious of the other one because people are drawn to them, that he's just himself, whereas the other one's like, people love him, but like, it was just.
But I've seen that. So keep in mind, because I grew up in the same sport for forever, and I've legitimately seen this person's a champion in this sport, and this person's a champion in this thing, but they're jealous because this one gets all the attention when they exist, and this one gets all the attention when they exist, and everybody else is back there going, well, nobody sees us. They only see you two. And so, as ridiculous as that feels, watching them and their hysterical flat fights is the only way I can describe it. Sorry, Anthony. But I've seen that in real life, and I've seen that with kids that I teach. And a lot of these things, although there are the extreme versions that we're seeing of characters, are all things I've seen, including the way the parents treat them.
Oh, that brings up a great question. Going from the 2001 cringe to now, 2019. But only Alex can answer this. Nathan, I'm sorry, you're benched here.
Yeah, you want up so they can compare.
What is her zodiac? The woman who's constantly apologizing and crying.
Oh, Ritu, the monkey.
Yes. Was that not done? I was surprised about how I'm just gonna say how well done it was. Where they didn't like go like the dark. I was like ready for like, oh, it's gonna get cringy as heck, but they didn't. They were just like, yeah.
And I have friends like that who do nothing but, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I ruined your day by being here. I'm so sorry. I have those friends.
Yeah, they apologize for existing.
Yes. And you're like, no, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're in my life. And again, you have to look at all these as caricatures of real people's feelings, because they are. These Zodiac members are caricatures. Even Toru Honda, if you just watch her as an individual, she's a very annoying character. What makes her work is the characters around her, because they're so extreme that her extreme works. And I'm aware of that. They're all caricatures of these characters.
Well, who was the Zodiac that really connected with her because she said, like, she was just understanding and said, I love you. Which one was that? It was like this character was shutting down from the world, but because Toru said,
Kisa,
I love you.
the tiger?
Oh, was it the tiger one? Okay. Like, I thought that was interesting.
Speaking, and then Toru accepting her and loving her.
And that helped her open up. It was just like, sometimes you just need, like, oh, the reason why I'm confused is because it was Yuki is the one who's talking to her about it.
Yes, like, because Yuki is also shut down in the past.
Right. But just the way they say, like, sometimes you just need someone else to just remind you that you're worthy and all that stuff. I was like, oh, all right. But like I said, these moments is what makes this show good. It is. You got to get to those moments.
And the movement of them is slice of life. And so the story itself, I think, is really, really great. The slice of life, I don't think, is for everybody. And so I knew it wouldn't be for Cole because he likes a faster storytelling pace. And this is a very Eastern storytelling style where you don't get information until you need information, which is really frustrating because you're like, I need to know these things. And they're like, okay, 3 episodes later, we're going to give you that information. Like, I need it now.
You will know. Oh,
the mistake I made was I looked up the Chinese zodiac and I'm like, there's a dragon? Who's the dragon? I need to know who the dragon is. I want to see this dragon just be like, I'm going to kill all of you. Like, I'm just ready for that.
Why would you assume that? Why would you assume he's going to kill everybody?
Wait, Alex, what? There's no dragon? There's no dragon? Are you kidding? This show has the Chinese zodiac. Okay. They put in a cat to take out the... They shouldn't have been the dragon then.
You've seen it. You've seen the dragon, Cole. So, by the way, my zodiac symbol is the dragon.
Wait, I saw the dragon.
Yeah.
Is it the seahorse?
Also known as a Sea dragon.
Get the audacity! Are you kidding me? The seahorse is the dragon? Online, it's a dragon. It's not a seahorse. So the doctor who can do the mind wipe, who's feared by all of the other somas, is the dragon? But it's a seahorse.
Sea dragon.
Oh, sorry, Anthony, but I believe it's warranted. The bull, the absolute bull. Are you kidding me?
This is the best way to get spoiled.
I've been waiting. I would have continued. Like, here's the thing. I have no interest really in continuing this show. The fact that it picks up speed has me kind of intrigued. But it's because I wanted to see the dragon. Sorry, Anthony, but I did see the dragon. Like this. No. And now it's a one-eyed dragon?
It's not a one-eyed.
So, here's a question.
Well, yeah, it is a one-eyed. Yeah.
Right, so here's a question then. Okay, so you saw up to episode 20.
Yeah.
At one point, you weren't sitting there going like, "There's no seahorse in the
Right.
Zodiac."
Well, there's not a cat either, so I just assumed
Another mystery one on the side.
So okay, so here's the thing. I was really intrigued if the characters were acting the way the Zodiac characters act, like stereotypically, like the Scorpio, like for Western, like the Scorpio would be the dark, mysterious one.
Right.
Sagittarius would be the leader, or I guess Leo would be the leader. But like, that's what I was expecting. And so when I saw like there was yin, there's yang, and then masculine, feminine, and none of these characters were matching up with any of the stuff that I was seeing. So I honestly thought Fruits Basket. I'm sorry. I've been calling it Fruit Baskets, or I've been.
Oh, you keep moving the S. Fruit Basket.
So I had to double check to make sure I'm saying it right. But
even that is like 5 episodes in before they explain the title of the show.
Yeah, literally
which was nice. I really liked the title of the show because I honestly was like, this is such a weird title. Fruits Baskets? Get this garbage out of here. See the episode about the description. This is adorable. Keep it in here. This is great. It was rice. No, it was
the rice ball.
Rice ball. I was like, yeah, always pick the rice ball. Anyway,
on the purse I showed on my stream because I have a Fruits Basket purse, and it has Yuki, Kyo, and Totaru on the front, and on the side it has the rat, the cat, and a rice ball.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Right?
So the American equivalent would have been like Duck Duck Goose or something. Would have been.
Get out. But so like I don't even remember what the rat was about or I was going with anymore. I'm sorry, everyone at home.
You're mad about the dragon.
Yeah, you're mad about the dragon still.
Still mad about the dragon.
Processing it.
Oh yeah, personalities. So that's when I saw like there wasn't a seahorse, it was just like, oh, they're plugging him in. That's what I assumed. And then that the dragon was like the mom, like the one that they were all scared of, or the leader of the house. Like the really quiet who met
Akito.
What?
I can't say I can't say their name right, but Akito.
Okay, so Akido. I'm
AK,
moving on.
Yeah.
I assumed that was the dragon because in the limo.
The dragon should be the leader, right?
Yeah. Like.
Hey,
I was ready.
Can I ask you to bleep something out for me? I'm gonna have you bleep this out so that the audience doesn't know because it's a end of season 1 spoiler.
So Anthony, this is super important.
Bleep it out. I'm gonna tell you. Do you want me to ruin this for you guys? Akito is in the story.
Oh, the one that made the banquet.
All the Zodiac members to the banquet.
That seems unfair to be able to add that to your Zodiac.
And that's why Akito has so much power over them, so much control, so much manipulation, why they're tied to the head of the house, why they're tied to the head of the Somas.
That's dumb. It should have been a f***ing dragon.
So at
the horse is the dragon.
Dragon. It's so genius and creative.
No, it's not genius and creative.
He wanted dragon, man. He wanted like a freaking Dungeons and Dragon.
Oh.
That's what he wanted. He wanted someone to start burning the countryside. That's what he wanted.
Dracarys. No, Dracarys. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
He just wanted her to He just wanted Tor to turn into Daenerys.
Yes, Dracarys.
And now I send my rat to destroy this countryside.
Now, as we continue through this show, I believe at the end of season 1, you see the horse, but barely. And the rooster doesn't come in until season 2, the actual zodiac that you get to see. But what's interesting is season 2 begins the goal to break the curse.
Oh. Is it because Catboy wants to get with Hondo? Or
Honda?
Honda?
I mean, that's part of it. Again, I want to focus on season 1, so I won't spoil too much.
Well, it's obvious. Here's the thing for everyone at home, because I kind of want to dive into speculation, which is kind of pointless considering that everyone kind of knows
I will just shut my face and Nathan can speculate.
Okay. So, Nathan, did you watch the intro at all?
The intro, yeah.
So you saw the hat floating.
Yeah.
Did you see
the
the
hat
episode
that's in her bag too? So is that
Yeah. Did you see the episode that explains the hat?
Oh no.
So she gets lost, and she doesn't know where she is, and then suddenly this random child pops up, gives her the hat, and she follows this kid, and then she finds her mom again. Obviously, that kid is the cat. It's an alleyway. The cat sees she's lost, bringing her to her mom. So he's been.
Is his hair orange?
You don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's shadowy. So obviously, the thing that blew my mind, because JPG during I forget which, I think it was My Hero. I forget. We did an anime where he says the intro gives away the entire show.
Right.
So,
that's usually how it is with a lot of these.
So it has to be either the rat and the mouse did it together, and then that's what the betrayal is. Because
wait, the rat and the mouse are the same person.
And the cat?
I'm sorry, the rat and the cat betrayed. That's where they work together, and then there was a betrayal moment that can be involving her. Or it was just the cat was leading her on, and then even more so, the cat. That's why the cat's out of the Zodiac, because he left the group to help this girl, and then he got banished by the mom. How dare you? She's normal! Get her out of here! And then that's why he's all alone.
The voices.
It took so many twists and turns. I gotta say, having no idea what you're talking about makes these possible speculations even more yeah, can't believe that mom probably kicked the cat out because he helped somebody.
So the mom, okay, so the dragon, and I'm using air quotes for everyone at home who can't see.
The Seahorse.
It's a dragon, apparently. I don't know if you heard that, Anthony, I'm sorry. But, he fell in love, and then the mom was like, she's normal, no! And then stabbed him in the eye.
Why do you keep saying mom?
Isn't it the mom? In the shadow? I don't know.
That's Akito.
Oh, it's Akito? I always thought it was their mom.
That breaks them up?
Yeah, that's
Akito. Who's the head of the Soma family.
This entire time, I interpreted it as the mom. Okay, so take the mom to Akito. All of that about the mom was all Akito. So Akito is a crazy person.
Crazy controlling person who you think probably just stabbed a dude for daring to love somebody that wasn't in the Zodiac.
Yeah, well, because the curse, I'm looking up the dog's name. Shigure. Basically kind of says, sex is in pot, and then he gets, hit, don't go there. Yeah. But, if you fall in love, you can't be intimate.
Okay, see, I was wondering, though, because you can't hug, right? But could you put a pillow in between you and then hug? Because if a pillow blocks the main body, but the other part of the body is touching...
What about a condom? Does that count?
No, see, I think it's just physical touch. I don't
Well, I
think
mean,
it's
that rules all over the place. She's like literally like bumped her shoulder and they transformed. It's like whatever it's any touch
Yeah.
apparently. It's like I saw her like trip more times in the first 2 episodes than she's ever tripped ever.
Yeah, which I do appreciate. She does trip and fall even when she doesn't transform them. So I appreciate that they continue that as her character.
They have to
and
prove
not
it because
just,
otherwise she's just like she's doing it on
Yeah.
purpose, guys, pretending she's falling. Like, whoops, oh
right.
no, I'm gonna
But
turn you
it's
into a
supposed
rat.
to be hugging. So it's like if their bodies bump into each other. But my question is, could you put a pillow in between you and then hug?
well.
I'm sure there's some fan fiction that definitely details what happens.
The thing that I really
I'm out.
thing I respected about the whole bumping and transformation part was that Honda learned really, really early on that it's a big thing for them. Like, please don't do this. We don't like transforming. We don't know how long we'll be transformed. It's embarrassing.
But
So
they come back naked, which is hysterical.
But there was only one time where she said, "F it, you're getting a hug," and it was the kid that got in trouble, like the obnoxious boy that stole her mom. Yeah, who's a sheep?
No. The one
boy.
who got in trouble is starts with an H. He's my least favorite.
No, because he's a brat.
He is a brat.
I thought he was the snake because I was like, oh, he's green. He's being mischievous. That's a Slytherin. There's a Slytherin in our midst.
Full out Slytherin.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. No, I actually have a lot of issues with his character because I feel like it's a little bit of the toxic boys will be boys message with his character. And I think a big part of that is because they stayed truer to the 2001 version. Because as it goes on, they get in trouble for like, hey, you're being mean. Hey, don't act like that. And they make it less acceptable. But in the beginning, because in 2001, that was just, oh, boys will be boys, it's fine. Now we're 2020, we're like, ugh.
It's not. You gotta tap the brakes on that.
Yeah, this show definitely has moments, though, where you're just like, is this a culture thing? Because there's a lot of, like, women need to cook them food? Like, what?
Why didn't they learn to cook?
Piero.
Yeah. And they had to go out of their way to kind of go like, no, she really loves doing it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Well,
but I mean, that's this culture, right? I don't know.
Right. And others get in trouble for being like, hey, make me this or get me tea. And they're like, she's not a servant. She's not a maid. Like, even though she's wanting and willing, don't talk to her or treat her that way.
Yeah.
But I think that might be something that they learn too. Like, has Yuki and Kyo always been that way? Or did they learn from getting to know Toru that, oh, hey, people are kind, and if you're just kind and you don't talk to them that way and you don't treat them that way? Because how much interaction have they had with other people to know or learn that until she came along?
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing I always like when they do characters like this is that kindness is a superpower.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, just going straight to like Western, stuff like the X-Men, like Professor X gathered these people to help him, and because he was kind to them, they joined his cause. And it's like many story over and over, and any kind of thing is like, if someone's kind to you, you want to help them out, and then you learn from them how they were kind and how easy it can be. And that's whole Toru's power, really, how she reaches all of them is that she's like just kind to a fault, almost like to a detriment to herself, and they kind of go, oh my god.
Yeah, well, because that's what her mom said.
Yeah.
Her I don't know if I don't think I know that is in the first 5 episodes. Where she was like, it's so easy to be pessimistic.
Yeah.
Anyone can be like a downer.
Yeah.
Be more. Be a kind person. Be the person willing to believe in someone. And I was like, oh man, I feel called out. Jeez.
Yeah.
We're all called out.
Yeah.
I mean, this show is definitely I will say it's a little soapboxy.
What's the little?
That's kind of its charm.
No. We're not letting it off the hook. What do you mean a little soapboxy?
Okay, it's a lot of soapboxy. But I also look at it as like, is this show really made for like somebody like me who's years old? Or is it made for kids in their teens who are like, oh shoot, I'm that person. I act that way. You know what I mean?
Well, it does. Yeah, that does bring the question. It does bring the question. When did you first watch this? Fruits Basket. When did you first watch it? Was
2
it
years ago?
2 years ago? Okay. But you've always loved stuff kind of like this, right?
No, so I hadn't really done anime.
Oh.
Maybe it was longer ago. 5 years ago? I'm not sure. So I went through, somebody else that I met was like, hey, you want to start trying anime? And I was like, yeah, I do. But like JPG only watches this style of anime. And so the things he recommended was Cowboy Bebop, which I hated in the first like 10 minutes. One Punch Man, which I love now, but at the time didn't make any sense to me. And I can't remember what the third one was, but I was like, none of these seem to be my style.
Yeah.
And so somebody was like, oh, here's a list for you. Try these. And so it was all slice of life. And I just went through. And again, I like binging. So it was like, bam, bam, bam. I was knocking them out.
Yeah.
And Fruits Basket was one on the list. And it stood out different from the other slice of life. Like, honestly, for this show, unless some big new slice of life comes out that's like huge, this is probably as close as we're ever going to get. Which this is slice of life, and it's also considered shoujo because it's fantasy-ish.
Yeah.
The Zodiac stuff. I don't ever plan to take us any further than this because I knew that Cole doesn't like this style, and I feel like this is as close as we can get without crossing over that line of just sheer torture for him.
I mean, this is the first time you've ever been like considerate of torturing me, which is kind of scaring me. But
she's luring you in. She's
luring me in, and then it's gonna be like, here's the pure
there you go.
life.
There you go.
We're watching The Bachelor, and you're gonna like it. Now, it's honestly the show is not bad. I will say, Hulu, if you want me to watch shows like this more often, and I just mean anime in general, I'm putting it in a generalization here. Give me a skip option for intros. And
Does Hulu do that on any shows? I know Netflix does.
Yeah, Netflix does.
I don't know if Hulu does.
Hulu does not, but HBO Max does. Netflix does. It's only Hulu. And
I know Hulu really needs to.
Yeah, Amazon Prime does it, and they suck. Amazon Prime is like one of the worst subscribers. We're probably going to lose all the Amazon money now. I'm so sorry.
All of our Amazon money. Sorry, Jeff Bezos.
Funimation is a really bad app. So when I watch this show, I watch it on Hulu through season 2, and then I have to switch over for season 3. But I try to stay off of Funimation as long as I can because it's such it's hard to fast forward. Whereas on Hulu, it's much easier for me to at least I can, skip, because I'm on my phone, right? 10 seconds. Okay, I'm there, right?
So I don't have it on my phone. I only have it on my systems. So whenever I'm watching this, whenever it comes on, I have to go find my controller. And because I've been watching the episode, my controller turns off. So then I have to turn it back on. And now you're ruining the groove of just binging. Yeah, and I'm like, because then, while I'm doing that, my brain goes this. Oh, hey, the world exists. You should look at your phone. You should be doing this. You should be doing anything else. And then I'm like, no, I need to watch this.
Now, I did think at least having like a love interest and a love triangle would tie you in a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Like that's the lure, which is why I was like saying, like, obviously the cat in Hondo, not the cat. I'm gonna Kyo is 100% going to.
Kyo's the cat. Yuki's the rat.
Yeah, Kyo. Yeah, he is 100% going to have to beat Yuki to win her heart, and it will be the first time he beats him. Because he'll finally have something worth fighting for. It's like, it's setting it up. I see the dominoes. I'm like, what's going to happen?
What is your thing?
I think it might be the other way around, where Yuki throws the fight for Kyo's sake. And then Toro sees that selfless act of going, all right, you got me. That was really good. And it's because that's all Kyo needs is to feel like he's an equal. And that would be the thing that brings Toro like, oh my gosh, he's so selfless. He totally could have won, but he took that beating.
That would make me so angry.
Oh, it would?
If it goes that... Because for me, it's like, finally overcoming, having like the power of love, and like Scott Pilgriming it, you know, pulling the sword out, power of love. Finally, like
such a Western way to look at it.
Yes, and like just beating, like finally winning, and like he has the reason to win.
Well, then,
But if it's
by
just-
your logic, Kyo should have to fight the entire Zodiac to earn Toru's love. That's because it's built-in number. He has to beat 12 opponents to get her heart.
Wait,
I'm okay with
I've
that.
seen this. This is Scott Pilgrim. Wait,
It's Scott Pilgrim, yeah.
just do me one favor, spend a little bit more time on the German one, because that kid was just on my nerves.
Mimoji, Mimiji.
Yeah, Mimiji. No,
I'm
Mamaji.
not saying that right.
Mamaja. I'm not saying it right either.
Anyway,
it's the half German, half Asian. It's the rabbit one.
yes.
They were just. I couldn't tell if they were being cringy, or if it was just the character, and I just don't know.
With him, I think he's really adorable, and I get that he's trying to be extra cute because he's the bunny. But I don't understand why he has a German accent if he's raised solely by his father. Like, that's the part I don't get.
It's like, look, I understand halvesies are really difficult for a lot of people to understand, but just because you have both bloods in your system doesn't mean you get both stereotypes. It's however you're raised. Like, I was raised by white people, so I'm very white when you talk to me. But if you like found my bones, they'd be like, "Oh, well, this person was clearly from the Middle East." Like, that's not how. Like, it's no. He should not have this cartoony German accent that makes no effing sense at all.
Agree. Even if he had a little bit, right? Okay, I get that. Like, his mom raised him for a little bit before.
He's too young for that to be a thing.
But he's still in Japan, so he's mostly surrounded by that accent, which for our viewing would just be English because we watched the dub version. But the German accent to me is like a little over the top. But again, that was what they did in 2001, and I'm guessing they stayed true to it for this. I'm not sure if they would have or not.
This anime is kind of over the top. That's kind of its style.
Yeah, caricature.
So, kind of all right, caricatures of what this character would be if we just had a huge version of it on a billboard. It's like, okay. It's okay. It's like, it's one of those, like, this is that kind of show where it's all right. It's all right for it to be as out of the box as it is.
Now, Nathan, I know Cole's weaknesses. I know what he looks for. But when you're watching this show, what is your thing where you're like, oh, that's what I needed to keep going? That's the story I want to follow.
For me, I was, I don't know if the timing was perfect because for everyone who wants to know behind the scenes, I had taken my second dose of the vaccine and I was getting tired. I was getting very tired, and I was watching this around that time. And it was hard for me to follow at some point. So I was just kind of like, all right, so she's doing this thing. Okay. So I think I wasn't
going to out you, but I'm glad you outed you.
Yeah, I outed myself. I was pretty tired. So I think I didn't give it the best chance it could have had. So I'll give it that much freedom that I checked out the first 5 episodes again, maybe, or a little bring more time into it. The thing I was liking, it's that love triangle. Love triangle is always fun to look at. You just go like, oh, Kyo and Yuki and Toru. Who will she choose? Oh my gosh. And so that stuff's always interesting to watch. I mean, I'm a sucker for it too. Like Buffy Vampire Slayer, whole Buffy and Angel and Spike, that whole thing, and then 1,000 other things. Like there's always that, who will she choose of these two people? And that stuff's always fun to follow. And the nice, like, one thing I didn't think they were doing very much was the reveal of from where I was at the point in the show is I wasn't seeing the reveal of the animals. Like,
they drag it out.
They drag them out, which is good because they should actually, because that's one of the things you're like, which one is this one? Because you figure out the first two pretty fast, and that's fine. And then as they go on, you're like, okay, so that's one thing that would have kept me coming back. I'm like, all right, this one, do they act like they're animal or do they act opposite of that? And you're like, and it was also interesting with Yuki being kind of, I mean, what's the Western viewpoint of a rat? You know, they're all kind of slimy, kind of like, I don't know. You know, they're not Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here. A lot of them got a pretty bad rep. It's interesting seeing him being like this really suave like no problem.
And
He beat
it's
everyone
the
up.
cutest rat on the planet. Can we
Yeah, he
just
turns.
no?
Yeah, he just turns his little.
I
Like,
originally
yeah.
wrote him as the mouse.
Yeah,
I
he
had
looks kind of
to
mouse,
look up
yeah.
the zodiac and be like, oh, it's a rat, because he looks like a cute mouse. I don't know what rats are in Japan, but America, they do not look that cute.
No, they drag pizza.
To feed their family of 4. These are hardworking single fathers. I'll have you know. Yeah, so yeah, having reveals of that's always fun and interesting for me. Is like if I can't figure out who this is before the show tells me. And so far I'm like I did not know the one crazy girl was a boar,
Oh yeah.
which is my Chinese zodiac. I'm like, oh, why is the crazy one gotta be mine? All right, I don't take that too personally.
What confused me about the boar was I didn't know they were known for being that high strung.
But I like that they explain it.
Yeah.
When they
I
said
get
that
it now, this is why, and I'm like, thank you for explaining that to me because I wouldn't have gotten it.
Well,
Alright,
boars are kind of crazy in the wild. They will just like suddenly turn on a hunter and go after him. Like just like there's been more boar related deaths than like almost any other wild animal.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, it's scary. Don't go out in the woods if you hear there's boars nearby. They are nuts.
So Nathan, your zodiac is the boar?
Yeah.
Alex, yours is the dragon.
Sea dragon.
The sea dragon. And Cole?
The tiger.
Oh.
I was the
man.
I was the cute little tiger girl.
No wonder you're so cocky. Think you're a tiger. Live your life as on the other at the other spectrum, other end of the food pyramid of animals. Like
Yeah.
it's different. Like dragon and tiger, boar. Oh gosh.
Well, because the Chinese, it's also like there's fire, there's earth, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a fire tiger.
Oh, I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Beyond dragon.
So I also just outed my year possibly. So like, you're welcome, world, if you want to know my age.
I'm years old, and I'm the year of the dragon.
I'm old. What is it? Earth?
He's gonna be like, he's 12. So to wrap this up and kind of bring it to the end here, for me, I would absolutely recommend the show to freaking anybody and everybody, but it needs to be your style, right? Like, as much as it's fun to torture Cole, and I do think he would like the love story, this isn't Cole's show. And so, I wouldn't recommend it to you if you love action pack and you want things to move really fast and you like the adventure. But if you just like a nice, calm story, if you've watched Slice of Life, if you just want to chill and something that doesn't take a lot of thought or brain power, but it still like has content to it and isn't just, look, we love each other, okay, bye. Right? There, like we mentioned before, there's a lot of emotional things that come into this. And a lot of that I'll go much deeper into in Dungeon. But there is a lot of seriousness. There is a lot of real conversations here. And I highly recommend the show to everybody. It can be watched on Funimation and Hulu as of right now. For sure, dubbed for both. No idea about subbed, because again, I watched dubbed with subtitles. Cool, what about you?
So Alex hit it on the head. If this is your style of show, then it's a really good show, because I got through 20 episodes of it. Now, I did force myself a few times to watch it, but there wasn't... If it was as bad as it was, I would have just stopped after like 5, maybe 10, and just be like, I can't, this show's... Like, with the amount of time that we had, I would have like, I'm done, I'll just do research, I'll read up on it. But the love story and the seriousness of the issues, which are super important to be talked about. I'm actually surprised this was talked about in 2001. I'm not going to lie. The fact that these issues were being brought up, because it's all mental health. I'm sorry, Alex, I didn't hear that. What?
Oh, I have to repeat that I thought Cole had a good point? Dang it.
It's already recorded, so...
Can you edit the show that I said that?
He's having a little GIF loop.
Cole's phone ring. That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
That's a really good point. He's like, ha! He got you to do it.
But yeah, so like, I recommend this show if you... And for that sense, but if you are just looking for... I believe it's Shoto is what it's called, the action-paced. The anime, the action anime is more Shoto?
This is
that the style?
Shouju, I believe.
Okay. Then Shohan? That's the other one, right?
That, I believe, is the other one, but I could have them backwards. I get it confused all the time.
All right, well, whatever style, this is definitely not Dragon Ball Z. This is not Attack on Titan. This is the complete opposite of that show. So if that's the only style that you really enjoy, then this is not for you. But if you are willing to give a show that deals with mental health a shot, it's good.
Nathan?
This is definitely a very particular style that it didn't always speak to me, but there was times that you get that overlap. Just like it's good storytelling. You get to know Toru very quickly. You get to know everyone you meet very quickly because they're archetypes. They're very much caricatures of this. So that's great for those really good, get straight to the point of what the story is supposed to be about. And that was really good. Like I really appreciated that. Of just especially see the difference between the pace of the first episode from 2001 to now. Like, and there's some stuff they cleaned up. They're like, yeah, this thing need to be changed, and this pacing, we don't need this for this particular what they're trying to do, what this story is. I think it's very good for that. I would recommend it to certain people. It wouldn't be one that I just go like, oh yeah, this, because I would have it would. Whenever I recommend anything, I ask ahead of time, like, what do you like? And if they tell me fruits baskets, well, shoot, I know exactly like that energy. Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get you this comic or this show, because this fruits baskets. If anyone knows what that is, back to forth, then that's one that you can. This is one that you can connect very quickly on, because knowing that Alix loves this, it makes sense. I've watched the show. I'm like, oh, okay, she likes these very, very clear definitions on where these characters are and their emotions, and it would help me in knowing the other stuff to promote to you. So it's kind of watching this actually helped me get to know you better, Alix. Oh, okay. All right. I can see that. Okay. I can see how this story, how you like this kind of thing, and the kind of storytelling. It's very, feels like almost a pillar more than just the show. It's like a pillar of just anime genre that you can go like, this is, if you like fruits baskets, then you really will like a silent voice. A lot of things, other things I go like, yeah, you'd like that. It's like the same energy, the same, like, I mean, this one's a little more, I mean, this of course got more fantasy elements, but the fantasy elements again are just, they're so secondary. They're not really important. Like, it's not a thing like, you have to be in on the Zodiac, man. You got it. It's like, no, not really. They explain it. And this is I would know what to recommend to other people because of this. That's an interesting way to look at it. But I dug it. I dug it that the pace was going, and I definitely look forward to finishing it up.
I love that. Well, thank you both for experimenting with me, because again, I know this wasn't, I don't know how torturing I am to Nathan yet, but I knew for sure it wasn't Cole's style, so I appreciate you guys actually looking at it from an angle beyond just, well, it's not my style, so I'm out, right?
Yeah. We're professionals. This is what we do.
Yeah, but we didn't used to be, so I feel like we've grown so much, Cole.
She laughs hysterically at saying that. We've grown so much.
Guiding your next pop culture journey, this has been an episode of In Quest of Geeks Tavern Team Edition.
Please check out our weekly Dungeon Dive and Tavern Team episodes on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any other podcatchers. And make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.
If you'd like even more adventures with us, our bi-weekly actual play RPG is in the same feed under Issues, where you can listen to us play as teen superheroes using the Masks A New Generation system.
Please follow us on social media at In Quest of Geek, and don't forget to subscribe to our weekly Twitch streams at twitch.tv/InQuestOfGeek.
As we bring this adventure to a close, here's what you can expect from our next episode.
I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with a dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Do not return to the temple. That time has passed. Because we're doing Bad Batch! We worked through that to do Bad Batch! May 4th is here! I'm excited! We're doing this!
Two things. One, I love that Discord shut you down on half of that. So the audience can also thank Discord for muting you. 2, speaking of things I'm not excited for, but will watch with an open eye and try my hardest, we are doing the Bad Batch. Nathan, are you excited for this one?
Yes. But I'm also behind on the Clone Wars, so I'm gonna have to like watch the Clone Wars while watching this to try and catch up.
Samesies. I've seen 0 episodes. Exciting.
So it's gonna be a journey.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch Clone Wars. We'll see what happens. But thank you for listening, Brave Questers. And remember, use what you've learned today to build better character.